You are now unmuted. You are now muted.
Hi everyone, Gary Coleshill here. Yes, you're in the right place. This is the Eagle's Nest Mastermind coaching group, which I'm hosting tonight with Ryan Lowe. And hopefully Ryan's on the line. Are you there, Ryan? Can you hear me, Ryan? Okay, maybe he's not on the line yet. But anyway, tonight is pretty much an open session. It is exactly what it says it is. So I want you to make good use of the chat box on your screen. This is meant to be an interactive session where people ask questions, give us their ideas, etc., on how to improve their businesses and make more sales, etc. So as much input as possible, please, to make this thing work. And again, I'm going to check and see if we have Ryan on the line here. Do we have you, Ryan? No, guess not. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you are there. Good, good. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm just introducing the Eagle's Nest as such and the concept, and I wanted to quickly run through basically the idea with this particular group. So I've got a few notes up here on the screen. The Eagle's Nest Mastermind Coaching Group is basically, the title is Ryan's idea, which he's going to explain in a minute. But the group is made up of, basically is meant to be made up of eagles who are experts that will help you in leadership, sales, having a great attitude, money, health, and much more. Every session will be hopefully on a different topic that will help you reach the success you're looking for. And the sessions will all be live, and you'll be able to ask questions. So make sure that they're questions, easy questions that we know the answers to. We'll also bring in other eagles who are experts and trainers and authors on a regular basis that want to see and help you reach great heights in your personal and professional lives. They'll share their principles and ideas to help you get there, and should all be highly motivating and fun as well. But Ryan Lowe is co-hosting this with me. You probably all know Ryan already, but he is well known for his book, Get Off Your Attitude. He's America's Positive Attitude Coach. And Ryan, tell us a little bit about how you came up with the Eagle's Nest title, the idea.
Well, one of the things when I lived in Dallas, a friend of mine turned me on to the book, Think and Grow Rich. And one of the things that he talked about was the mastermind group. And I read that and really found it interesting. And one of the things I always wanted to do, I always wanted to get a group of like-minded people or people that I could learn from. And I actually started one in Dallas, one that we all met in person. And it was just a lot of fun because we had a lot of people that were in it that were, I call them the 3%ers, that 3% of people that want to learn, want to do better, want to get better at what they do, and want to not reinvent the wheel. I mean, one of the things I always like to do is learn from other successful people. And when I decided to write the book, Get Off Your Attitude, one of the chapters was with the Eagles. And a friend of mine told me a long time ago a quote that I never forgot, and I live by it. It said, he said that you can't soar with the eagles during the day if you're bumming around with the owls at night. And I thought that was really cool because it really, and I used it in the book, that quote, because I separated what an eagle was and what an owl is. And I find that when we're trying to reach great heights, when we're trying to get better at what we do, or we try to start a new venture, or we try to start a new chapter in our life, for some reason we always go to the people that are going to probably knock it down, tell us that that's a crazy idea. It happened to me when I decided to write my book and get back into speaking. When I took a little time off, I had a couple of friends tell me that, why would you want to write a book? Do you know how many authors there are out there? Do you know how many speakers are out there? Do you know how hard it is to get picked up by a publisher? And those types of comments, I just said, you know what, I need to get around people that are going to, be positive, influence me, challenge me, inspire me to do that. And that's what I did when I decided to write the book. I got around friends of mine, other business owners and other people, other authors that said, hey, Ryan, do it. You know, there's no reason why you can't. You have a great concept. Just keep working on it. And that's what I did for 2 years. And so I that's one of my favorite chapters in the book. So one of the things that, Gary, I'm glad that you and I've gotten together on this is because that's what I'd like to do around the country. With technology these days, I find that anyone can get on, you know, we can all get together. People can ask us questions. We can talk about different topics. People that join the group can also email us different topics, and we'd be glad to talk about them because I'm sure any topic that someone brings to our attention, I'm sure other people want to learn about it as well. So, you know, it could be from sales to, you know, attitude to just about anything, health, money, and we could talk about different topics out of my book if people would like. So there's a lot of things that we can make this fun, entertaining, exciting, something to look forward to, and not your typical get on the phone and just hear somebody talk for an hour. I like you and I discussed, and I think it's a great concept that we get people involved and learn what they're going through and see how we can help. And also, too, so people won't get sick and tired of you and I, and I know, Gary, you have friends and I have friends around the country that are authors, speakers, all kind of great people that are out there that we're friends with that I think that could help us make this even more of a value to the people that come on. So, but I'm excited about this, and I'm excited about the people that you and I are going to meet on here because I learn a lot from other people, so I'm excited about this.
No, absolutely. I think it's a very good summary. Yeah, I mean, basically the thing is that we'll steal your ideas and you can steal ours.
Absolutely.
We can share ideas and get much better at everything that we do. Now, one thing we're going to do actually, and we won't be too spiteful about it, but we are going to pick on the audience a little bit because we want them to talk. As you said, it's not just, Gary and Ryan deliver boring monologues. I want to get some feedback on this, and if I recognize somebody in the audience, and I do, then I'm going to mention them by name. I don't intend to embarrass you or anything. I just want your feedback. I want to know basically what you're doing, what challenges you're having, what successes you're having. That's just as useful. Not only do we want to know what doesn't work, but also what is working. So, I'd like, if possible, if you're not all feeling too shy here, to maybe some of you could type in the chat boxes who you are and what you do, and you can tell us a little bit about yourself. So while we're waiting to see if anyone does that, hopefully you will, I'm going to grab a quick sip of tea here. Ryan will probably get coffee, wouldn't he? Did you like the picture, Ryan, at the beginning there of you? Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I haven't.
You didn't see it on the first screen? Oh, okay. I had a picture of you next to an eagle. I thought it was very appropriate.
I need you to send me a link to that. I just got the phone link.
Oh, that's okay. I can send you afterwards. Hopefully the recording will come out. So, come on. No one's typed in yet what they do and where they are. If you don't type it in, I'll pick on you.
Well, there's got to be. I mean, everyone's joined this group to learn something, and so, let's ask questions. Please ask us questions. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ask us anything you like, as long as it's polite. Keep it clean and polite. But I see, for example, here, and I see that Royal Francois on here. Now, Royal's been on a lot of my training programs in the past. I know Royal is with Legal Shield, so, maybe Royal, you'd like to, just tell us what particular challenges you're having, what's working well with you, anything you want to share, really, any questions you want to ask. I know you're eager to learn because you're on a lot of these training programs. To see you on there. Nothing, no. This is going to be a very tough mastermind group. It's just me and Ryan. Well, while we wait on that, I mean, there's a lot of things that I think we can offer to you all. Like, if you all want to email us the week before, ask us anything. I mean, my background, a little bit more to introduce myself. Gary and I actually met. I worked for Brian Tracy for numerous years, traveled the country doing sales training, motivational speaking, keynote speaking, coaching. And that's how Gary and I met years ago, and we decided, this past year to get together and offer our services with sales training and attitude and anything else. Right now, I travel the country doing a lot of keynotes with associations, businesses, sales training for corporations, MetLife, some network marketing companies have, really taken a liking and a shine to get off your attitude. So I do a lot of coaching and a lot of trainings, one-on-one and like here on webinars. So, from my background, if there's anything with sales or attitude or just about anything, I'll be able to answer questions or, take the time to work with you. And I know Gary will do the same.
Here's one for you.
Okay.
Scott, I'm not sure how you pronounce your name, Scott. Is it Berkovic? I'm not entirely sure. I think I've seen that name before, actually. Do you know Scott Berkovic by any chance, Ryan? It's addressed
Scott
to
Berkovic,
you.
yes. Yes.
Scott Berkovic, okay, right. I've seen that name somewhere, maybe on one of your files. Anyway, Scott's just put a comment on there. Hi, Ryan. As you know, what kind of advice would you like, Scott? What kind of help would you like, particularly? Anything you want to discuss to follow up on that?
Gary,
we've got Ryan here.
You cut in and cut out right there. Say that again. I didn't get to hear what you said.
I'm sorry. Oh, apologize. Scott has put, hey Ryan, as you know, at Prudential, we're dedicated to customer service and look forward to your help. So any particular ways you think you could help Scott with customer service, particularly? Any thoughts on that?
Yes.
Or anything Scott would like to add?
Yeah, Scott put me in touch with a gentleman that they work with Prudential Assets in Dallas, Texas. And that was one of the other things that I do, too. I do a lot of consulting with companies dealing with customer service about attitude, a positive culture. There's a lot of companies out there that are looking for that because, a lot of times there's a lot of change made, especially in this day and age. A lot of changes are made within corporations, companies, and, not all the time that the budget will fit, to give people raises or make them, more excited about their position. So I'm working with several companies. I'm actually working with a company tomorrow. I'm actually working with the Louisiana District Attorneys Association tomorrow, a client that I've had for quite some time. Just going in there, doing the same thing. It's a positive culture and how to stay positive in their within their organization. And one of the things I always tell people, and this is another chapter in my book, and Scott's read the book before, is a chapter that I really focus on with this is smile. I focus on just how to use it figuratively, but also how to use the concept that I came up with, smile, as far as how to get through adversity. So there's a lot of leaders that are out there that deal with a lot of adversity within their organization, and a lot of people that deal with a lot of negativity. So when I say the word smile, it's about just how to respond to these things in a positive format and a positive, with that positive attitude. So that's some of the things I go in even further when I work with these companies and showing them, how to have that positive attitude by using a smile, and how far that goes with people that work with you, people that are on your team. Maybe it's clients, maybe it's other professionals, but having that positive attitude and how to use it to your how would you say that, to your advantage, can really help someone within the with their organization and with their professionalism.
Yeah, well put, Ron. I think you're totally on target with that smiling thing. It's funny because when I first started working on the phone, we were told to smile and dial. But the thing is, it does make a difference because people hear it in your voice. If you're in a fairly, obviously, particularly when people, are connecting with you over the phone, let's say, all they've got to go on is your voice, but your voice is affected by your mood. If you're in a crappy mood, you sound crappy, and you're not very likely to resolve any client's problems particularly well or make any sales either. So yeah, I think it's
well,
very important stuff indeed.
Well, and one of the other points that I made, I just spoke at the Louisiana Society of Association Executives last week, and it was their spring conference. And one of the things that I shared with them is probably about 3 or 4 months ago, I was flying from Louisiana, from New Orleans to California, and I stopped, as a matter of fact, I stopped in Dallas for a layover, and I shared with them a story about how our attitude is the face of our company and our organization. We don't realize this, but one morning when I was waiting for my flight, I heard this negativity from this one person, and I didn't bother with it for a while. I just sat there and I was playing on my iPad, and I just kept just going on with my own business. And all of a sudden, I kept hearing this lady just being negative and just saying negative things and just being real rude to people and all this. And I just had to look over, and it was the lady at the desk at my gate, actually. And I've flown this company numerous times, especially when I was flying to Dallas to California quite a bit. And never have I ever had a problem with them, no negativity, never heard anything negative about them. But one of the things that dawned on me while listening to her, her negativity, her negative attitude, her being pessimistic, really being rude to customers, not being excited or passionate about what she did, really gave me a vision of what I feel about that company. And I try not to do that, because you see the connection there. Somebody that it might be a phone call to, a customer service person, might be a phone call from one of your clients. And if you're negative to them, or you're pessimistic, or you have the wrong attitude, it can really put a negative light on your company. It can put a negative light on who you are. It can put a negative light on what you're trying to accomplish. And so that's why a lot of companies, like I said, are really focusing on how people's attitudes are while they're in the workplace, how they're responding to people, on their teams, and how important that is, because, and it all comes down from the leadership, of course, but how important that is, because you can lose a major client. Now, like I said, I have a negative connotation of this company because of this lady, which won't stay long, but it's still it's not a good thing. And then also too, I learned from a friend of mine not too long ago, seeing him speak. Now with technology, gosh, people can, beforehand you tell somebody about a negative experience or a negative, something that was done to you by a company, and you maybe tell 5 or 10 friends. Gosh, now with Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all these other things, somebody could really post out there what type of experience they had with their company, what type of experience they had with you, what how they felt about your presentation, how you were in sales, how you were in customer service, how you are as a person. People, this day and age, negative news can fly pretty fast. So that's why I try to get with companies and explain to them, how important everyone's attitude is within an organization. So not just smiling, but keeping that positive attitude, and how to respond to people and situations without, responding in a negative way that could really put, negative light on a company or that person.
That's very good. I think also it's not just positive and negative. I think one of the worst things is indifference. You phone up a company, and hopefully they don't do this at Prudential, and you're talking to them about an issue, and they're going, You know darn well they're not listening to you. I hate that. That really does tick me off, and that gives me a very negative impression of a company. And a lot of people do that on the phone when they answer the phone, for customer service or whatever. It's really annoying. I don't know if maybe it's me, I'm overly touchy, but do you feel the same way? It's like they're just not listening to you, and they don't care. So
I'll with that being said, real quick, I'll shine some light on that. 2 companies come to mind that have been phenomenal that I've worked with, AT&T and PayPal and eBay. anytime I get on the phone with any three of these, anytime I get on the phone with these three companies, Mr. Lowe, what can I do for you? I'll resolve that for you. Please explain what's going on. I mean, all of these different things. Yeah, and they're listening and telling me what they can do for me. And that's three companies that I've been blown away with that really have, they step up to the plate every time I call.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of,
I agree. That's it.
And I'll tell you,
I've had issues,
Yeah. But what happens with that too? I'm one of those people that will tell everybody how great these companies are, and that's what you want. You want those. I'm sure you probably heard the book Raving Fans, and that's what you want. You want those raving fans out there talking great about what you've done for them. And I think companies are starting to realize now too, and I think people are starting to realize that if you take care of the people that you have and stop wasting them to look for new people, you could make more money and have better clients, and that's the best type of marketing. I think a lot of companies are coming to the realization of that. So.
Yeah, it's amazing though how many companies are just really horrible. I won't mention any names, LinkedIn, but their customer service is absolutely, well, it doesn't exist. There isn't any. It's actually, if you have a question, you have to email it in and wait about 2 weeks for a response. I just don't get it. I mean, it's just, and you go online and you look, up LinkedIn customer service, and you'll actually it will come, it will have the lowest rating of customer service probably in the country on there. It's like, geez, I mean, doesn't that worry them? I mean, don't they think, geez, better do something about that? But it's, I don't know. Some companies don't seem to care that much. I guess they'll care when the profits fall. But one day it will come back to bite them in the backside.
It always does.
I think it does eventually. It takes time. Scott's put a couple of other comments on here. I know you can't see the comments, so I'll read them out to you. First one says, Scott said, positive and negative attitudes are contagious. Pretty much agree with that. They almost go viral, don't they? In-person and online people are much more passionate about negative experiences, are much more likely to post a negative experience than if they've had a really positive experience. Yeah, that's I agree. That's pretty much what Ryan was just saying about how if people are really ticked off at you, so now they have the power to really mess with your business. I mean, they can start posting stuff all over the internet. They could put it on Twitter, put it on Rip-Off Report. I mean, you really, more than ever, you have to be very, very careful about your reputation and treat people properly. So, yeah.
And Scott's right. I mean, one of the things, too, I tell people ask me all the time in corporations, they say, well, Ryan, I got a negative sales manager or I got a negative person. First thing I tell them, get rid of them. I would rather get rid of that person than have that one person be the fall of that organization, and it happens. I've been part of organizations where new leadership has come in, negativity, and it really doesn't do well. And I teach that in my leadership classes, that when you come into a new company or you're a leader of a company, get to know the people that you're working with. Don't start dictating and telling them the rules of the game and how it's going to be and all that stuff. But being that negative person, I mean, it really that's, and going back to the Eagles and Owls that we talked about, that's a typical owl, someone that's just negative all the time, someone that's just coming in, not positive about what they're not passionate about what they do, they're not excited. They're the ones that start the rumors and the water cooler people, I call them. But it does. It spreads like a cancer, and it really starts to bring other people down. I've seen it on sales teams. I've seen it within organizations. And like I said, I've told leadership, hey, you know what? That's the person to get rid of. And
no, you're right.
And even too.
Yeah, it is poisonous.
It is. It's very poisonous. And the hardest question I get, this is the hardest question, Ryan. I have families that's like this. What do I do about that? And one of the honest questions that I tell people is, you know what? You can't, pick your family, but you can pick how much time that you spend with them. For those types of people. I mean, I have a brother that's the most negative person you ever want to meet, and I don't give him much time. I see him at family functions. I tell him hello. I'm nice. I'm going to be cordial. But as far as discussing, telling them things that about what I'm trying to accomplish, I'm not going to entertain that, and I'm not going to do that with anyone that I know, within a business or anything. So that's why I tell people to surround themselves with positive people. Eagles, get around people that are going to, get you excited about what you're doing, be passionate about what they're, that can help you stay, because there's a lot of times, and Scott knows some of my buddies in Dallas, there are times that I wanted to give up. I didn't want to write the book. I decided not to move forward as a speaker and started to believe those negative thoughts, those negative comments. That's where you fall, is when you start believing those things of, well, maybe that person's right. Maybe who am I to tell somebody to get off their attitude? Who am I to tell somebody how to be successful? And then you got to get past that negativity. And that's one of the things that I want to share the most when we talk to people on this program, is that, we're the ones that really get in our own way. There's a lot of things that, we start believing that come true, good or bad, because we believe it. And that's some of the things that I definitely want to share, stories and ideas with people on here, that whatever idea that you have, it's a business or where you are with your company, or where would you like to see your company go? How would you like to see it grow? Where would you like to see your company in 2015 to 2020? I mean, that's what we're here to do, is to help visualize, help put in positive seed, into these, positive seeds. That's what I like to call it, because this is what I want to see, where people can really grow with us. So do we have any other questions or any other ideas?
No, yeah, I'd make a comment though. I read a good quote, and I can't remember who said it, but it was an NFL coach, and he was asked what made a good quarterback, and he said a short-term memory, which I think is pretty good, actually, because you have a crappy game, you got to play the next week and forget it. Whatever happened the week before doesn't matter. It's right now being on that playing field and doing what you're doing. A lot of people get weighed down by baggage of things that they feel are gone wrong or they messed up. And I think it really holds them back. They have to kind of wipe the slate clean and remember that, tomorrow is a new day, basically, and nothing that's happened in the past really has any relevance to it.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I was just talking to this guy's an Eagle, this guy that's in my life. He lives here in Louisiana. And I'll be very honest with you. He and I were on the phone this past week, and I said, man, how you been? We haven't talked in a while. Told him about my program that I did for the association, told him that I plugged him. He actually got a speaking engagement, several speaking engagements from me telling several ladies at this association meeting about him. So we get on the phone, and I'll be honest to say it, he said, Ryan, I haven't been in touch with you for a little while. He said, man, the last time I talked to you, you were really down and things weren't going right. And I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, last year was a perfect storm for me, the perfect storm hit me because I didn't have the phone calls coming in for speaking engagements. The book wasn't doing that well. I got diagnosed with a brain tumor, so my wife and I had to go through that. And, a lot of things with my health really set me back. So you know what, like anyone else, I just got into that pity party. I got real negative. I started thinking negative. I'm like, well, why am I not getting speaking engagements, and what's going on, and all these other things. And then if you know me, I'm a huge football fan. I love football. I love LSU football. I love the Saints. I love just anything about football. And it dawned on me with Eli Manning, and watching him have a really bad year, and watching his brother have a great year up to the Super Bowl, but his brother had a bad year the year before, and Eli had a great year the year before, and the year before that, and it dawned on me that life is like being an NFL quarterback. Every season is not going to be great. Every season's not going to go the way we want it. Even if we have all the perfect tools, all the perfect people around us, we got the perfect coach, we got the perfect defense, perfect offense, you know what? For some reason, it doesn't go right. It doesn't go the way we thought. And ladies and gentlemen, in 2013, that's what I had. I had the year that, I didn't have many speaking engagements. Like I said, my health wasn't great. Things weren't just going the way that I thought. And everything else, there was just no rhyme or reason to it. But then 2014 comes along, and Gary and I get on the phone, and Gary and I started working with each other. And then before you know it, I got, I think, 12 to 15 speaking engagements already lined up for the year. I spoke at the Super Bowl of speaking engagements here in Louisiana. I spoke at, like I said, the Louisiana Society of Association Execs, which that's every association in the state of Louisiana. That's every meeting planner. That's every convention bureau. That's every DMC, Destination Management Group. This is like the who's who of my business that go out and tell people. And 2 days later, I'm, talking to different clients, talking to different people. Gary and I are getting phone calls. We're talking to people all across the world now. And the book is really doing great. The audio version just came out 2 weeks ago. So you see how life just comes in waves. And when you're on that bottom wave, and that's what I thought of 2013, that's when you just have to stay positive. And back to my buddy, he was like, Ryan, he said, man, the last time I talked to you, he said, I just wanted to really let you know that that's not the Ryan I know. That's not the person that I met. That's not the person that's, passionate and excited about life. He said, but I understand when things like that happen, it can really knock you down. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll explain that to you. That's exactly why having an eagle's nest, that's why having eagles in your life. I mean, he was very honest with me. He was very upfront with me. He said, man, he said, man, the next time I was going to see you, I was going to smack you in the back of the head. He said, and I'm not going to allow that, a guy like you that's passionate about life and positive about life, to be negative. And that's what an eagle is. That's somebody that's going to set you straight and say, you know what, man, you're not playing to your full capacity. And that's what, back to the NFL, that's, like I said, that version of, hey, I'm going to make 2014 my year. I'm going to make it the year that, I get back up and start doing what I want to do. And ladies and gentlemen, we're all going to go through it. We're all going to go through those, we're going to hit the highs. We're going to have some exciting times in our life, and we're going to hit the lows. But it's right then is what attitude are you going to take? And getting around those people, I'm telling you, even ourselves, Gary and I, we'll hold you accountable. And that's why we want people to be very honest and be upfront with us, because you know what? That's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take you to get to being successful. And there's a lot of successful people I know, and one of the coolest things I like to do, if you've read my book, you'll see it, is I love watching, 30 for 30 by ESPN, or Behind the Music for VH1, or the Biography Channel. And I love watching these shows to show me where people started out, because that's where I want to see the success. Is what did they do from point A to point B, in that in between. We'll see a Justin Timberlake up on stage, but we don't realize what he went through. We'll see a Drew Brees, or we'll see just anybody that Robert Kiyosaki or somebody. Robert Kiyosaki's story is real great with me, or one that I stick to, because it took him 3 years to get Rich Dad Poor Dad off the ground and out in marketing. Nobody wanted to talk to him about it. Nobody even cared about it. Nobody bothered with it. And his third year is when it took off. And that's what I look for. I look for what other people have gone through, because I'm in my second year of Get Off Your Attitude, and I'm still striving to get it to the right people, get it on the right shows, get it to the, to positive people that might, one person might read it and it could take off. So that's how optimistic you need to be about your business. Just because it doesn't happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, but if you stick with it long enough, it's bound to open up, and it's bound to do great things. And that's one of the things that, if I could give any advice this evening, is look at what other people have done. Look what other people, what they've gone through, what, the negativity. Like I said, we always see the people on the big stage, or, up in lights, or, in the movies, or up, the big speakers that we know of. I mean, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar's story is the same way. He went through more ups and downs than anything, but then everybody sees, the latter part of his career, and they think that's the way it was the whole time. So that's one of the things that we can learn in this group and learn from each other is, hey, you know what, when things are down and out, or things are not going our way, or we hit that perfect storm where our business goes sideways on us, or a relationship, or money, or our health, that's what Get Off Your Attitude's about. And it even took me, I mean, even, writing the book and doing all that, taking someone to say, Ryan, hey, you need to get back on track, bud. You need to get positive again. And sometimes, and I'll tell you, sometimes we don't realize that we are negative. Sometimes we don't realize that we are pessimistic about things, or we let things get to us a little bit easier. And that's what we want to do. That's how we want to help everyone with this. So we'll keep you in check, and we'll keep you accountable. Do we have any other questions or comments, Terry?
I don't see any other comments on there. What I'm going to do briefly is just give you a quick rundown on the group itself. For those of you that aren't yet members, I did have a few people on here tonight that I invited just to check it out. The rest of you obviously are members, but if you want to join this group, basically we meet in this way on a webinar platform twice a month. The sessions can vary in length. It depends how much we've got to discuss. If we have more feedback, sometimes we go on a lot longer. But basically, you're talking about an hour monthly live coaching session with Ryan, America's Positive Attitude Coach, and basically an hour really worth of live coaching sessions with me. Access to the members only area where we've got archived recordings and materials, including every one of these sessions as well. Ryan's going to send out on a regular basis positive attitude articles. He sends out, I believe, a weekly motivational text message.
Yep.
He has a monthly newsletter, Get Off Your Attitude. I send out sales tips through my emails. You're going to get 15% off of any products or merchandise that we do. And basically, you can join this amazing group for just $1. How about that? For the first month's membership, so you can check it out and see what you think. You can attend, obviously to the sessions. You can get any of this free stuff, and you can keep it. I mean, we're not going to ask for it back. You can keep the text messages, the emails, the newsletter, etc. That's fine. If after the first month you decide you want to continue, it's $9.95 a month. You can cancel any time with no penalties at all. So really, what you got to lose? $1? Not much. If you want to sign up for this right now, go to succeedinsales.net/eaglesnest. And I would say actually that we are limited with how many people we can have, obviously on these calls. So we are limited with the membership. So if you want to get on board, do it now, because in a few weeks' time we probably won't have any room left. And that's pretty much it, unless you have any questions. If you think of any afterwards, you could always call me on 888-894-2929. Send me an email to Gary at phonesalesguru.com. Ryan's got a toll-free number as well. I can't remember what it is. What is it, Ryan? What's your toll-free number?
My toll-free number is 888-669-4011. Or the best thing that you could do is just email me at info@RyanCLowe, or you can email me directly, Ryan@RyanCLowe.com. Ryan@RyanCLowe.com. Yeah, and okay. I would be more than happy to answer any questions. Or like we said, we'd love to hear more about, any comments, anything that you'd like to see within within this, because this is for you all, and we're here to help Absolutely. As much as we can.
Absolutely. So. If anyone on this call tonight wants to pick the topic for the next one, fine, go ahead.
Yep.
Pick a topic, give us some stuff.
That.
Yeah, we'll go with the flow. You tell us what you want us to talk about. What we're going to be discussing, and let's try and make it a bit more of a discussion, because it's we're not learning much by just us talking. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to learn from you too. This is a kind of two-way street. So a little bit of participation will be nice next time. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. There is a comment just come up. Let me just check that. No, I don't know what happened there. It's just, no, it's nothing new, I don't think. Let's have a look. Nope, there isn't anything. It came up and flashed and went off. Okay, it's just a glitch in the system. Anyway, well, thank you very much, Ryan. And thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. And
real quick, Gary, as well, please, everyone that's on this call tonight, please invite others. If you know someone
absolutely.
that's looking to, that might not be positive or looking for some, ways to get positive or really needs, someone to help them, please, that's what this is for. I'll be sending this out to everyone that I've met, and also I know Gary will be sending out to more people, and pass it around your office, around your group. I think you said one gentleman is part of prepaid legal. Please, we'd be more than happy to send that as well. And also too, you can always go to my website to purchase the book, Get Off Your Attitude. Or you can find it on Amazon, audio versions on audible.com. It's on anything. All you do is Google it. And that way, too, I find that the reason why I say that is that you'll be able to understand some of the points that I make throughout these calls as well, because I'll be pulling a lot of stuff out of the book. So hopefully, and I think you'll enjoy the book as well. So.
Excellent. Okay, and a quick reminder here that Ryan and myself are available for speaking engagements, for weddings, bar mitzvahs, funerals, whatever you got going on, we're available. So there's no. All right. Thanks a lot, then. Thanks, Ryan. Good
okay.
night to
Thank you.
everyone.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for being on the call. Really do appreciate it.